Picture a man who hustled his way out the trenches to become one of Hollywood's biggest powerhouses. A creative genius who made space for voices the industry loved to overlook. Now picture that same mogul smack in the middle of a scandal so messy, it's threatening to tear down everything he built. That's exactly where Tyler Perry finds himself today, tangled up in a jaw-dropping $260 million lawsuit filed by a former actor who claims all those shiny promises of fame were just smoke and mirrors hiding something dark. Derek Dixon, the face behind Dale on Perry's hit series The Oval, is accusing Perry of a disturbing pattern of misconduct, intimidation, and backstabbing that sent shockwaves through the industry. The details? Absolutely wild. The fallout? Massive. And the full truth? Still hidden in the shadows. Let's get into the thick of this drama, unpack the bold claims, firm denials, and why this case got Hollywood buzzing like never before. On June 13, 2025, a 46-page shocker was dropped in Los Angeles Superior Court. Derek Dixon, who played Dale in more than 85 episodes of The Oval and had a guest role in Ruthless, officially came for Perry, hitting him, his company's TPS Production Services, and an Action LLC, and 50 unnamed individuals with a lawsuit totaling $260 million. According to docs snagged by TMZ, Dixon claims Perry set up a twisted, power-hungry system, teasing big breaks, like producing Dixon's pilot losing it and locking him into key roles, only to allegedly expect inappropriate favors in return. The suit lays out accusations of power abuse, workplace misconduct, and retaliation, painting a picture of Perry as someone who allegedly used his status to manipulate. Perry's lawyer, Matthew Boyd, clapped back instantly, labeling the entire thing a money grab meant to cash in on Perry's success, especially with his Netflix thriller Straw blowing up the charts. With both camps gearing up for war, everybody's asking the same thing. How did a rising star and a media empire collide in a legal showdown this intense? Let's rewind and break it all down. It all kicked off back in September 2019, during the glitzy grand opening of Tyler Perry Studios in Atlanta, a massive 330-acre campus that's become ground zero for Black storytelling, even hosting blockbuster hits like Black Panther. At the time, Dixon was in his 30s, an ambitious actor grinding at an events company helping run the star-packed celebration. Perry, known for discovering fresh talent, allegedly approached Dixon, chopped it up with him about his dreams of making it big, and asked for his number. The court docs say Perry's first text kept it cute, strictly about career talk and building a future. By November 2019, Perry slid Dixon a minor role in Ruthless, a BET Plus series centered around a shady religious cult, officially pulling him into the Perry universe. For Dixon, who had zero major credits, this felt like a dream come true, a golden shot to glow under the wing of a billionaire who built his own empire from scratch. But according to Dixon, this offer had layers, and what came next opened a very troubling chapter. Fast forward to January 2020. Dixon says Perry invited him to his Atlanta estate in Douglasville, Georgia, supposedly to discuss upcoming projects. Things started off normal enough. Some drinks, some talk about leveling up in the industry. But according to the lawsuit, when Dixon got too lit to drive home and agreed to crash in the guest room, the vibe shifted hard. The court docs lay out a disturbing moment. Dixon says he woke up to Perry in his bed, touching him inappropriately. Caught completely off guard, Dixon claims he jumped up, let Perry know he wasn't with it, and tried to shut it down. The lawsuit says Perry backed off that night, but didn't let up. The text that followed allegedly turned more suggestive. One message quoted in the complaint reads, "I love how I feel right now, but I don't like feeling this DMN excited." Dixon says he kept trying to dodge the heat, not wanting to risk his new career lane, but deep down he was starting to feel like his whole job came with strings attached. That night, he says, marked the beginning of something he never saw coming. By March 2020, Dixon's career was finally picking up steam. Perry cast him as Dale, a homeless store clerk on The Oval, a BET political drama that's been pulling major numbers since it hit screens in 2019. Dale's raw storyline, doing whatever it takes to survive, even trading favors for a place to sleep, hit hard with viewers, and Dixon went on to appear in more than 80 episodes, quickly becoming a familiar face. But while the cameras rolled, Dixon claims things behind the curtain were getting darker. The lawsuit includes screenshots of alleged texts from Perry, dripping with suggestive undertones. One read, "What's it gonna take for you to have guilt-free fun?" Another, even bolder, allegedly said, "No straight dude would be hanging with you cooking dinner unless they wanted to mess around. I would." Dixon says he tried to keep things cool, changing the subject or answering vaguely, but behind the scenes, he was on edge. According to the suit, Perry made it known if Dixon didn't keep him satisfied, his role might vanish. And sure enough, in the season 1 finale, Dale gets lit up, shot 4 times, fate hanging by a thread. Dixon claims Perry used that moment as a warning, hinting that Dale's future on the show was up in the air unless Dixon played ball. That imbalance, Dixon says, trapped him in a non-stop game of control. The claims don't stop there. Dixon says things went from bad to outrageous with 2 incidents he describes as full-on violations. The first allegedly happened in October 2020 during a cast getaway to Perry's private island in the Bahamas, a reward trip for the Oval team. One night, after some heavy drinking, Dixon claims Perry grabbed his behind in a suggestive way right in front of others, leaving him embarrassed and stunned. But what happened in June 2021, he says, was even worse. While staying at Perry's Atlanta guest house to talk over losing it, Dixon says Perry came into his room for what was supposed to be a good night hug, but it turned into something else fast. According to the lawsuit, Perry pulled down Dixon's underwear, touched him, and whispered, "Relax, it won't hurt." Dixon says he tried to defuse the moment by changing the subject, but the whole situation left him rattled. After that, the suit claims Perry tried to keep things sweet, offering Dixon a pay bump of $6,000 per episode for the next season and promising to make losing it happen. But Dixon alleges it was all for show. A hush deal to keep him quiet, with no intention of actually backing the project. At that point, he says, he hit a wall, facing a gut-wrenching choice between protecting his peace or holding on to a career built on silence. By 2023, Dixon had packed up and moved to Santa Monica, California, trying to shake off Perry's grip that still lingered heavy back in Atlanta. But according to the lawsuit, the pressure didn't stop. Perry allegedly dangled losing it like bait to keep Dixon under his thumb. In June 2024, Dixon decided he'd had enough and filed a report with the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, EEOC, laying out claims of inappropriate behavior and revenge tactics. When TPS Production Services sat on their hands and did nothing, Dixon walked away from the Oval before its final season, even though it meant kissing nearly $400,000 goodbye, according to court papers, and the toll, devastating. Doctors reportedly diagnosed him with severe anxiety, no sleep, stomach troubles, and drained hormone levels. He was prescribed Zoloft for PTSD and deep depression connected to the alleged mistreatment. Citing California's Fair Employment and Housing Act and another statute meant to protect victims, Dixon's legal squad says he had to pick his peace of mind or his paycheck. And really, who should ever have to make that kind of choice? But now the question is, was this a power move to escape or a final cry for justice? What happens next might tell us everything. Meanwhile, Perry's camp is clapping back hard. His lawyer, Matthew Boyd, told NBC News, "This is someone who cozied up to Tyler Perry just to run a game. Tyler's not about to be extorted, and we believe these made-up claims are headed for the trash." The defense is side-eyeing the timing, too. The lawsuit hit right when Straw, starring Taraji P. Henson, hit #1 on Netflix. They say Dixon is trying to cash in on Perry's moment. Over on social media, the takes are non-stop. Some folks on X are giving Dixon the side-eye, like one post that said $260 million right when Perry's movie blowing up? This feels like a straight-up cash grab. Others, though, are making comparisons to big Hollywood scandals like Harvey Weinstein or Diddy, with one user posting, "There's always something shady hiding behind power in this town. This one hits too close." And yep, the whispers about Perry's personal life are back on the table. Old rumors got reignited after actor Christian Keys in 2024 hinted at being mistreated by a mystery producer without naming names, but people connected the dots. Nothing's been proven, but the gossip is loud. Right now, the internet's torn in two, and the real story still lost in the noise. This lawsuit ain't just about Dixon and Perry. It's a peek behind the curtain at Hollywood's shadowy power games. Perry, born Emmett Perry Jr. back in 1969 in New Orleans, hustled his way into a $1 billion empire with his Medea persona, hit stage plays, and shows like The Oval and Sisters. His massive studio is one of the biggest in the country, giving thousands of jobs and uplifting Black voices. He's even gotten big props from Oprah Winfrey and Spike Lee. But Dixon's accusations are stirring deja vu. bringing back vibes from the Weinstein saga, where power allegedly hid shady behavior. The claim that Perry snatched up losing it just to hold it over Dixon's head without any plans to actually make it shows how easy it is for producers to play puppet master with rising talent. People on X are clocking it too. One post said, "This ain't just about Perry, it's about how power warps everything in Hollywood." And Dixon's complaint pokes serious holes in the system. No HR department to report this stuff to, and the EEOC didn't even budge. These gaps let things slide, and it's a pattern we've already seen in suits filed against names like L.A. Reid and Russell Simmons in 2023 and 2024. Now, the part about those 50 unnamed folks in the lawsuit, that's where it really starts to simmer. It hints at a whole web of people who might be wrapped up in this, possibly setting the stage for more bombshell claims. Perry's whole brand, one that's about lifting up the overlooked, is now under the microscope. If Dixon's story doesn't hold up, Perry might spin this as another attack on a successful black mogul, which could only boost his against all odds image. But if Dixon's got receipts, like verified messages or folks backing up his claims, it could shake the foundation of Perry's legacy. That discovery phase, especially those digital deep dives, is going to be make or break. Remember, in Diddy's 2025 legal battles over trafficking claims, tech evidence was front and center. Dixon, being an under-the-radar actor with no big name before Perry, complicates the picture. Is he a target of abuse or just chasing headlines? The receipts will tell the story, and everybody's watching. So where does all this leave Tyler Perry's legacy? He's the man who turned a life of struggle, poverty, childhood trauma into global success, giving jobs and creating powerful stories. His Netflix bag and hits like straw sealed his spot in the game. But now, these accusations, whether they stick or not, are casting a serious cloud. If it all gets tossed, this might look like a pricey smear campaign. But if the court sides with Dixon, it could shift the whole narrative, not just for Perry, but for a business that's been ducking accountability for too long. As investigators comb through messages, witness statements, and all the messy details, one big question remains. Is this just some quick drama, or the moment Hollywood finally checks itself? Drop your thoughts below and stay locked in as this roller coaster continues to unfold.